Hey guys, Extinct here with extinctmotorsports.com, and today we're going to show you our new solar battery maintainer kit, or you can see it over my shoulder here in the windshield of this Land Rover Discovery. So this is going to be a great kit for those of you that have occasional use vehicles. Maybe they don't get driven so much, weekend vehicles, maybe a camping rig or something. So anyway, let's take a look at the details on this thing. So before I get into the details on our new custom configured solar battery maintainer, I thought I would show you my first attempts at solving my problem of keeping the battery charged on my occasional use vehicles. My first attempt was this 1.5 watt solar battery charger from Harbor Freight. You can see the label here. It has a couple of suction cups where you can attach it to the windshield, and a long cable with a quick disconnect to disconnect it from the battery spring clamps. But the disconnect is so close to the battery, you do have to open the hood to disconnect it. It also does not come with a charge controller, so there is the possibility of overcharging your battery. Ultimately, this charger was just too small and would not keep my battery charged in my vehicle, and it would go flat after only a week or two of sitting due to the parasitic drain placed on it by the computer memory and the other electronics on board. So next I tried this larger 7-watt solar panel from Harbor Freight. You can see the label on the back is faded a little bit. And it is larger and has more power output, but as you can see, it's got this heavy plastic frame. It's too heavy to attach, because of this plastic frame, it's too heavy to attach to your windshield with just suction cups. It had similar cables to their 1.5 watt with a a similar disconnect. The disconnect comes apart. It's okay easy, but you have to work at it for a minute, right? And it also doesn't have a charge controller. I basically fitted it with my own charge controller and a couple of additional disconnects. Had to wire it all up, soldered the connections, all of that stuff. And it works fine, but the problem is, of course, the things I don't like about it is I don't like the disconnects. I don't like that it's heavy. I don't like that it won't mount to the windshield. It really wasn't the ideal solution for my uses. So I moved on and decided probably the best thing for me to do was just custom configure a solar battery maintainer for my uses. So this is our new custom configured solar battery maintainer kit. It comes with a 25 watt solar panel, a digital charge controller, Velcro for mounting the charge controller to the back of the panel if you want, suction cups for mounting the solar panel, mini carabiner clips for hanging the solar panel if you want, both a cigarette lighter as well as alligator clip connector cables with quick disconnects for connecting to the charge controller, and a USB phone charging cable with 3 types of phone plugs, along with the setup instructions and the connection cables with the corresponding quick disconnect plugs. I designed the length of the cable so that it is long enough to reach the battery at the front of a full-size American truck or SUV, with the panel on the same side as the battery or underhood connection lugs. I also designed it with the quick disconnect plugs close enough to the panel or the charge controller so you could quickly disconnect both if you wanted to take them out of the window for vehicle usage without having to open the hood. The panel itself is splash proof, however the quick connectors and the charge controller are not, so we do not recommend positioning the system where these are outside or exposed to the rain. On the back of the panel you will see a charge indicator LED along with 2 additional USB plugs where you can connect directly to the charge panel if you desire. The charge controller has several control options you could configure for different battery types and voltages, but it comes out of the box configured for your standard 12-volt lead acid type automotive battery, so you really should not have to adjust that unless you're using it for something different. Complete instructions are included, of course, and we recommend reading those, but I will not go through them in detail here. Okay, so now we're going to go over how to set up and install your solar battery maintainer. So this is our charge controller input cable. So it connects to the output of the solar panel and goes to the input on the charge controller. There's a little solar panel diagram you can see right here on the charge controller, and this is where we connect the battery, and of course we connect our white wire to that one. That's our charge controller output cable, and it goes to either our battery clips or a cigarette lighter. So on our two cables, the white one, we color code these, of course. So the white one is for your output, and the white wire is hot and the black wire is ground. And on the input, this is it's kind of a little bit hard to see in the video, but there's one of the wires has a dashed gray line on it. That's our hot wire, and then the other one's black, and that's our ground wire. Okay, so I'm going to strip both of these just a little bit to give me a little bit more wire to work with. These wires are tinned on the end, which means they have a little bit of solder to keep them from coming unraveled. But I'm going to strip them a little bit more so that I have a little bit more wire to work with as I'm plugging it into my charge controller. So I'm just going to just get a little bit more. You see about that much, maybe a little bit more than that. Yeah, about that length, about that much. I'll do it on both of these, and then I'm going to wire them into my charge controller. Now your charge controller is marked, of course. Positive has a plus sign, the negative has a negative sign, and again, you connect them as I said earlier. So it's very simple. Of course, you just you want to unscrew and loosen the connection wires as much as possible, and then I'm just going to shove them in the end here. Again, my black wire with the gray dash line is my positive, and then the solid black one is my negative. And I'm going to put both of those in there like that. And then I'm just going to tighten those wires down until they are snug. And I'm putting a little bit of pressure to hold the wires into the charge controller. I'm going to give them a little bit of little tug. There you go, a little tug, just to make sure they're in there correctly. And then do the same thing on those. And you'll notice, you got to double check your orientation, but basically the positive is on the left and the negative is on the right. I had pre-loosened this connection. And the reason I stripped the wire back a little bit more is to make sure I had adequate bare wire to clamp down on with these clamp connections, right? Okay. Okay, so now we're ready to just take our solar panel out to our vehicle and plug it in, expose it to the sunlight, and then plug it into either our terminals or a cigarette lighter and let it start charging the vehicles. And now we've got our solar panel installed in our vehicle, and this one is oriented to the side, but you can orient it up or down depending on your preference. And what you'll see is so it's blinking, the panel is showing charging, and battery is holding at 12.3 volts. That number will vary depending on your battery condition, how much sunlight there is, how much parasitic drain you have, and things like that. But what you can see is if I disconnect it from the battery, it goes out because it's got nothing to charge, right? But we connect it back up, it comes right back on, and so it's charging and going. And of course, if I disconnect it from my solar panel, just show you what that looks like. So if we just disconnect from the solar panel, you'll see that it just gives me the battery condition without the charging going on, right? And so we connect that back, and it goes right back to charging the battery and keeping it maintained. Okay, one last thing to show you is how to find our new solar battery maintainer on the website. So it's on the home page on the slider. It's actually the second image on the slider. You can click right here and it'll take you to the battery page, to the battery maintainer page. Or you can go into the search bar and type battery maintainer and hit search, and it will come up. Or you can go to shop, and under shop we have it under all products, we have it under all vehicles, and we have it under the underhood kits in the area. And so you can go there and you'll see it here. And then when you click on it, of course, it takes you to the product page for this product, and you can order as many as you like there. One last thing, every page has a support link at the top, and you can click contact us and send us a message. If you have any questions, just feel free to let us know. Thanks very much for watching, guys, and don't forget to leave some comments down below, and links to everything to the kit down below as well. Thanks very much.